Hi, folks. I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Monday, the 6th of November, 2023. And as you can see, I've upgraded to much newer technology. I'm using these gaming headphones, if you like. And I actually like this retractable cable microphone. You can actually pull it in, or retract it if you like. So it's pretty good. And I guess it's a little bit better than me having to hang on to, my old, microphone cables, if you like. I still like those microphone cables, don't get me wrong, but this makes it so much comfortable, especially when I gotta do a video and, you know, read on notes for you and things like that. So yeah, I guess just for me, folks, I'm back to my uni studies now, and tomorrow, it's gonna be a big day for me to prepare things, moving forward into this semester. So there's lots to do, lots to catch up with, and a lot to be informed with, if you like. But anyway, folks, I guess I just wanted to do a video with you to catch up, with the geopolitical and the biblical. Actually, my brother came to see me earlier this morning. He needed to actually go to downtown, and he came past. And we were talking about what's happening in the geopolitical now, especially with Israel's, timetable of Bible prophecies, and how soon we're going to be having the rapture of the church and things like that. So, it's always good to talk to your family members, and just let them know what's going on and things like that. So, yeah, I guess to start with, folks, I heard earlier today in the news, I get most of my news from YouTube, if you like, that Russia is actually maneuvering with Libya and Sudan to gain, let's just say, a military advantage. And of course, we know what this means, folks. We know that Sudan and Libya are actually two of the other three other countries that are coming down for this coalition with Secret 38, 39, alongside with Russia, Turkey, and Iran. So, the geopolitical now is actually adding up and it's actually falling into place for the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. So, isn't it amazing, folks, how the Bible is true, Now, uh, what I wanted to catch up with you folks is that I wanted to talk about, Psalm 83, okay, because many Bible scholars are having issues with the prophecy of Psalm 83. Now, I believe that Psalm 83 was actually fulfilled in 1967, and although, um, as far as I'm concerned, it was fulfilled in 1967, then it was actually fulfilled in two parts, Um, Psalm 83 needed in 1948, in other words, Israel becoming a nation, and the 1948 war plus a 1967 war, because, although Israel became a nation in 1948, then it was actually unfinished business. They actually had to wait until 1967 to regain East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and so on. And, you cannot fathom Israel without all of Jerusalem, Israel and Jerusalem go hand in hand. So that's why I believe that it was fulfilled in 67. And, if you read those countries that were involved in the 67 war, you can probably do a Google search on those countries if you like I did. You will realize that Egypt and Jordan are needed for the fulfillment of Psalm 83. Okay. Now, you need to realize then that in today's geopolitical climate, um, both Jordan and Egypt that have commercial and military agreements, with Israel. Okay, Israel exports, a lot of gas into both Egypt and Jordan also relies heavily on water and water technology from Israel. A lot of the gas that Israel exports into Egypt then ends up refining it, and then they send it off to Europe. Okay, so Israel has not only peace treaties with both Jordan and Egypt, but They also share intelligence. They have commercial agreements and things like that. So it's very unlikely, folks, that Jordan and Egypt will actually go into war with Israel in order for this Psalm 83 to be fulfilled. Today's geopolitical does not support both Jordan and Egypt, if you like, going to war against Israel. And also for the fact that Saudi Arabia is trying to sign an Abraham Accord with Israel as well. With the help, of course, America trying to broker this, if you like. So there is no way, folks, that Psalm 83 can be fulfilled. Um, it was fulfilled in 67, and the geopolitical does not support it that it's going to happen anytime soon. Uh, even experts who know everything that is going on in Israel in the Middle East actually agree with me on this, that Psalm 83 cannot be fulfilled in today's geopolitical world. Uh, and I'm talking especially about two major, Middle East experts. These two people, if you like, are very popular on YouTube, and they know exactly what's going on in Israel and in the Middle East. They are also Bible scholars, so they know what they are talking about. And they both agree with me. I heard them say on their YouTube channels that, Psalm 83 is not possible in today's geopolitical uh, world, if you like, or scenario. So it's not going to happen, folks. So yeah, I guess interestingly enough, tomorrow being the 7th of November, that will actually mark 1 month since Hamas invaded Israel or declared war on Israel. So unfortunately, there's still hundreds of hostages. I believe more than 200, and I will really got to pray for the families and also for the hostages. Because 1 month is a long time being stuck in those tunnels underneath, Gaza. Um, so we got to pray for those families and the hostages. They are stuck, in a really terrible situation. And as Christians, we support Israel. Now, what else do I have for you folks on my notes? Yeah, of course, we all heard that this um, Hezbollah leader, Hassan Nasrallah, a few days ago, um, he made a speech, okay, making threats, to Israel in America that, uh, if, Israel continues to bombard, Hamas in the Gaza Strip, in a big way or things like that, or if things get, if they see that many people die, many Palestinians die in the Gaza Strip, that somehow they're going to be getting involved. Um, Perhaps things will deteriorate down the track. Right now, Hezbollah is having, quite serious skirmishes, if you like, in the northern border of Israel. Okay. Um, in the last day or so, Netanyahu has come out saying that, Hezbollah does attack Israel in a big way, that they are going to send, Lebanon into the Stone Age. Okay, so we know that Hezbollah is going to be pretty much wiped out. They're going to have the same ending as Hamas. The other thing to know, folks, is that uh, once Israel defeats this demonic army from Hamas, they also need to defeat Hezbollah as well, because these are the two evils that are bordering Israel, that are giving Israel, a lot of trouble. So uh, soon, folks, in my view, how I see the geopolitical of unfolding now, that's going to happen. And we also know, folks, what Bible prophecy tells us, regarding Iran's nuclear facilities. We got the Elam Bible prophecy found in Jeremiah 49. By all accounts, then, with everything that I'm hearing on YouTube, is that Iran is very close now to, enriching enough uranium for them to be able to use that material, if you like, to put it into some kind of missile and, cause a lot of trouble. So I'm pretty sure that Israel, will take care of that. And actually, God is actually very angry himself. If you read the prophecy of Elam found in Jeremiah 49, verses 34 to 39, God is actually going to supernaturally intervening in that war because he's saying that he's going to make sure that the IDF or the Israeli armed forces gives them a comprehensive defeat. In other words, a big punishment. So that's going to happen, and then God is going to intervene a second time with a civil war. So, and we also know that we got pending the Isaiah 17.1 prophecy, Damascus being a heap of ruin. That's going to come down too, folks. I did a video on that recently. Um, Basically because, the reason that Syria and Lebanon are not part of the Syrian war is because they would have been bombarded, if you like, or, wiped out before the Syrian war begins. That's why they're not coming as part of the Syrian war. Syria and Lebanon are not part of the Syrian war. And if you're wondering, because they're actually bordering Israel, or the northern side of Israel, if you like, they're not coming because they would have been bombarded. That's why they're not mentioned in Ezekiel 38, 39. So it's going to happen, folks. None of us can deny Bible prophecy. It's said for a reason. The Bible has a 100% track record. So, and of course, folks, Israel being the prophetic clock, we are heading towards about child of the church. No doubt about it. Um, and like I said in many videos before, at the end of the Secret War, when God glorifies Himself, you need to realize that that the church is not going to go out very soon. We are going to be here for this Secret War, folks, because God cannot glorify and magnify Himself whilst He's allowing the Antichrist to rule during the tribulation period. It just wouldn't make sense, having God and also God allowing the Antichrist to rule. It's not a good mix, folks. So we're gonna be here for the Secret War, and you know, everybody has to prepare for that. We also got the Secret 38 earthquake. Okay, everybody's going to feel that. The shockwaves all over the world, including the effects of the air. So, nature and all of us humans, we're gonna feel the shockwaves because it's going to be a supernatural event. And of course, on top of that, then we're gonna see Israel rebuilding the third temple after the Second War. Israel cannot rebuild the third temple right now, even if they wanted to, because they actually need to be in peace. So we will see, the third temple go up according to the prophecies of Isaiah and Micah. Um, Isaiah prophesied this in chapter 2, okay, verse 2 and 3, and Micah prophesied this as well, pretty much with the exact wording in chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. And also for the fact that the book of Revelation tells us that that temple has to be ready because the angel tells John, the apostle, hey, go measure the temple because that temple was already finished during the church age because Moses and Elijah are going to be using that temple for the 1,260 days of prophesying. So we will be here, folks. I'm not sure how long it's going to take until the Secret War is out of the way. We haven't had, the Elam or the Isaiah prophecy just yet. I'm hearing out there on YouTube that the Gaza war is going to take a little while. Somebody will comment that as a sign moms. So who knows? We must see the back end of the sequel. Maybe this is just an estimate, just a wild guess. Maybe at the end of March next year, moving into 2024. I'm not sure, it could be done earlier or thereabouts. Third temple, if they get onto it real quick, who knows, it could take 2 years to put it up. Everything's actually ready for the third temple according to the Third Temple Institute authorities. They just have to build the building, okay, and they have to demolish the Alaska and the Dome of the Rock, okay. Israel will have to sign a covenant, as per Daniel 9:27 at the end of the Second War. so that they can get their permission from the Messiah in order to rebuild the third temple, if you like. And then at the end of the third temple, then that temple will have to be inaugurated because it's a building with a lot of prophetic significance. We're talking about Israel's third temple. And so you would think, my common sense, that because it needs to be inaugurated, that Israel's Messiah will be coming out. Perhaps with the rabbis and the Jewish authorities, I would think. It makes sense to me at the inauguration, and then I'm thinking that Israel's Messiah, will come out on the Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, that when the man of sin comes out, he needs to talk about peace and safety. And the First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, it's going to say peace and safety, folks, just like Paul told us, and then bang, rapture of the church. So I think that's a plan, folks, but although I'm not setting a date, we just see how things unfold, as we go along. There's no doubt, folks, that we are in the age of the Antichrist, okay? Um, just recently, I was watching, I think last week, Shalom 132. The rabbi there posted a video saying that there was going to be a partial eclipse in Europe on October 28th, which had just passed. And he also did a video about 2 months ago, and also did a video on my channel as well, pointing the rabbi as well from Shalom 132 on YouTube. Now, this Shalom 132 YouTube channel is actually a Jewish Christian channel, okay? They are based in Mexico. And the rabbi was saying that this partial eclipse in Europe was actually signifying the coming of the Antichrist. And, I believe him. I believe that's true because that partial eclipse, okay, in the skies, if you like, the stars in the skies were actually revealing the constellation of Cetus. Okay, now the constellation of Cetus is actually a sea monster, okay, that represents the devil or Satan. If you read Isaiah chapter 27, verse 1, so and the Bible calls it Leviathan, okay, Leviathan. I know it's a bit of a term, folks, but check out Isaiah 27, verse 1. And, the fact that this year, it to me makes sense, folks, because if you join the dots, then this year we have many nations giving up their sovereign health rights to the United Nations. And we know that after the rapture, the Antichrist is going to be ruling, or is going to be the head of the United Nations, if you like. So many nations, I think America has done this already. Many nations have then given the sovereign health rights to the United Nations, because of the COVID-19. Also, this year we had the introduction of artificial intelligence. Okay, that's number two, and the fact that we now have this war in Israel that started on October 7th, so almost a month ago. So these three major things signify, that the Antichrist is already here. According to this partial eclipse that we had on October 28th, and that the skies, okay, or the celestial bodies in the sky are actually showing the constellation of Cetus, okay, which is a sea monster that represents Satan, if you like. The Bible calls it this sea monster Leviathan, okay, according to Isaiah chapter 27, verse 1. So, yeah, check it out in the Bible, folks. And it's not coincidence, folks, that all these things are happening, there are no coincidence with God, so, undoubtedly, folks, I think that most people will agree with me, and that's what I'm hearing out there on YouTube, that, we are at the end of the church age. We are in the end of days now, heading towards a rapture, and that we got to share the gospel, okay? We got to believe on Jesus. If you're new to my channel and you haven't believed on Jesus yet, get saved now because you don't want to stay behind. Basically, you got to believe in the gospel of salvation found in the first book of Corinthians, chapter 15, verses 1 to 4. How Jesus died on the cross, and that he was buried and rose again on the third day according to the scriptures. You got to believe this by five in your heart. Not don't just have the head knowledge in light in your head, take it all the way to your heart, because God requires five. Basically, Jesus needed to shed his blood to make the blood atonement. That's Jesus' blood is important because then the Jewish people under the Old Testament, they used to slit the throat of animals, and that blood was presented by the high priest, you know, to to God, if you like, in both of the two temples, the first and the second, for the forgiveness of sin. So Jesus fulfilled the law, and Jesus was, the Lamb of God, if you like. So that's what we got to believe on Jesus. He was the ultimate sacrifice. Jesus is actually God Himself, God incarnate. So yeah, God is made up of the Trinity. They always existed. God is made up of God the Father, God the Son, Lord Jesus Christ, if you like, and God the Holy Spirit. So Christ is, of course, means the Savior, is the Hellenized version, if you like, or the Mashiach, in Hebrew. So yeah, folks, believe on Jesus because no one is guaranteed the next breath. We are now on an unstoppable trajectory all the way to the rapture of the church. Very soon, folks, Israel will begin, its package of end-time Bible prophecies. As in Isaiah 17.1, the Elam Bible prophecy, the secret word of 38 and 39, the third temple, then confirming of the covenant, and we are out of here, folks. So it won't be long now. At most, we'll probably have maybe 2 years, but I'm not setting any dates. It's a little bit early to say right now, but bear in mind what Jesus said, this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. So Israel now it's 75 years old. The tribulation period is 7. Okay, so if you were to have the rapture today, which I don't think is imminent, then uh, Jewish people that was born in 1948 at the end of the trip, he will be 83. So it's an old age. So it has to happen very soon. All this has to move forward very soon, folks. So yeah, we are on that path, folks. So yeah, we need to get saved now. We need to share the gospel to Jesus' Great Commission. And yeah, I was just happy that I was able to pass on my brother, some knowledge about the Bible and things like that. So, but anyway, folks, I guess this is all I wanted to say with this video. Yeah, I'm constantly watching the Geo-Political on YouTube because isn't it fascinating, folks, how the mainstream media, they are not telling us, everything that is happening right now. Like even the mainstream media, they're not even actually interviewing pastors, or rabbis to get some kind of biblical perspective of what's going on. I mean, if they are seeing this war in Israel right now, okay, you would think that journalists would think to themselves, "Hey, Israel is the Holy Land. Perhaps we should interview a rabbi and a pastor and get some kind of perspective of what's going on. Is there anything biblical? But nothing, folks. Like you really have to go to many different sources, okay, outside of mainstream media, to get the knowledge and the information. Anyway, folks, to finish up, pray for the peace of Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, like we are commanded to do. Pray for everything that is going on in Israel, for Israel's leadership, for the hostages, for the families, for the soldiers, for all the frontline people, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem, that nothing happens in Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is actually God's eternal holy city. So, we're actually commanded to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So, keep Jerusalem in your prayers, and, got my Star of David here, folks, for my support to Israel. So, that's it, folks, for this video. Thanks for watching. and I'll endeavor to do more videos down the track. All right, talk to you guys later, folks.